What if I told you that something in your fridge right now could be quietly raising your risk of stroke overnight? And that even as a brain doctor, I didn't see it coming at first. You might be thinking, okay, but I eat healthy. I read labels. I cut back on sugar. I'm doing all right, right? Well, maybe. But there's one food hiding in plain sight that's silently damaging your brain's blood vessels every time you eat it. And if you're over 50, the impact is way worse. Let's just say this. Your brain's not a fan of it, and your heart's not thrilled either. But what is it? Bacon? White bread? Artificial sweeteners? We're going to break it all down. And trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to be looking at your grocery list very differently. Let's start with a quick mental exercise. Picture the healthiest version of yourself in your golden years. You're sharp, active, full of stories and laughter. You remember names, dates, the punchline of your favorite joke. Now picture the opposite. Confusion, fatigue, trouble finding words, the fear of a stroke, or cognitive decline slowly creeping in. One food, yes, just one, has been linked to tipping the scale toward that second scenario. And here's the kicker. It's not junk food. It's not some weird chemical additive banned in 5 countries. It's something marketed as healthy. In fact, seniors are more likely to consume it than younger people because of its low-fat, low-calorie, or heart-smart labels. Can you guess what it is? It's ultra-processed food, specifically low-fat processed meats and ready-to-eat meals, packed with sodium, preservatives, and synthetic additives that sound more like chemistry lab experiments than nutrition. Here's what the science says. And this isn't just health blog gossip. This comes from peer-reviewed neurology studies, stroke research, and nutritional neuroscience. In a 2023 study published in the journal Neurology, researchers followed more than 118,000 people for over a decade. They found that people who consumed more ultra-processed foods had a 21% higher risk of stroke, especially ischemic strokes, which are the kind caused by blood clots cutting off blood flow to the brain. Let me repeat that. Just by eating more processed foods, your risk of stroke can jump over 20%. That's not a small number. And here's where it gets more alarming. Your brain, especially as you age, is incredibly sensitive to inflammation. Processed foods, particularly those loaded with sodium nitrate, hydrogenated oils, and synthetic flavor enhancers, cause blood vessel damage and chronic inflammation. These substances irritate the endothelium, the thin lining inside your blood vessels, making them more likely to clot or rupture. So what are the main culprits? Let's break it down. Deli meats and turkey slices labeled low-fat but packed with preservatives. Microwave dinners that claim to be healthy or balanced but have sodium levels through the roof. Frozen diet meals with less fat but more chemicals than a cleaning product. Low-calorie snacks made with synthetic fibers and flavorings to mimic the taste of real food. Now you might ask, is it really that bad if I only eat these foods a few times a week? Well, here's where the science really pulls the curtain back. A study from the University of São Paulo found that even replacing just 10% of your daily calories from ultra-processed foods with whole foods could significantly reduce your risk of death. Not just from stroke, but from all causes. 10%. That's like swapping out a frozen breakfast sandwich for oatmeal and fruit. Or trading a pre-packaged lunch for a homemade salad with real ingredients. But let's talk about why this matters more as you age. As we get older, the brain's ability to recover from even minor blood vessel damage declines. Microinfarcts, those tiny, barely noticeable strokes, become more dangerous. They might not show up with big symptoms, but over time, they chip away at your memory, decision-making, and even personality. and the foods you eat either fuel that damage or help heal it. So, what's actually happening inside your brain when you eat these foods? Imagine your blood vessels as a high-speed highway delivering oxygen and nutrients. When you eat heavily processed foods, it's like setting up potholes and roadblocks. Cholesterol builds up, arteries stiffen, the blood can't flow as easily. And then, boom, a clot, a stroke. Or if you're lucky, just brain fog, fatigue, and slower thinking. Not exactly the golden years you planned. But here's the good news. It's not irreversible. Your brain is incredibly resilient. When you start nourishing it with the right foods, even in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, you can improve blood flow, reduce inflammation, and actually grow new connections between brain cells. Let's talk solutions. If you want to keep your brain sharp and stroke-free, here's what you need to focus on. Cut down on sodium. The American Heart Association recommends under 1,500 milligrams of sodium per day if you're over 50. That's about 2/3 of a teaspoon. Many healthy microwave meals contain double that in one serving. Watch for the phrase low fat. This often means they've removed fat and added sugar, salt, or chemicals to make it taste good. Focus on whole foods. Think leafy greens, berries, nuts, fatty fish like salmon and olive oil. These are brain-boosting and artery-clearing. Hydrate like it's your job. Even mild dehydration affects brain performance and can thicken your blood, increasing stroke risk. Don't trust flashy labels. If the ingredients list looks like it belongs in a lab report, don't eat it. And here's a bonus tip. Try the MIND diet. It's a hybrid of the Mediterranean and DASH diets, specifically designed to reduce the risk of Alzheimer's and stroke. Studies show that seniors who stick to the MIND diet score significantly higher on memory and cognitive tests. Still with me? Good. Because we're not done yet. In the next part of this video, we'll break down the exact ingredients to avoid, reveal some shocking items hiding in your pantry, and share real-world grocery shopping tips for brain health. So before you bite into that healthy frozen dinner or turkey sandwich, ask yourself, is this fueling my brain or quietly sabotaging it? And if you're thinking, this sounds like my diet right now, don't panic. The first step to change is awareness. Now that you know, you're already one step closer to protecting your brain and living a sharper, healthier life. Stick around. We've got more insights coming that could change the way you eat forever. So now you're probably wondering, what specific ingredients should I be watching out for? You know the general idea. Avoid ultra-processed foods. Stay away from suspicious labels. But let's zoom in, because the devil really is in the details. Here's a list of stroke-triggering ingredients that sneak into your food. And yes, even the so-called healthy stuff. 1. Sodium nitrate and nitrite used to preserve deli meats, hot dogs, bacon, and even turkey slices. These chemicals are directly linked to arterial damage, oxidative stress, and, you guessed it, higher stroke risk. They're what give processed meats that pinkish color. But inside your blood vessels, they spark inflammation like a fire alarm that never shuts off. 2. Hydrogenated oils, trans fats. Even though the FDA banned most trans fats, they can still lurk in imported snacks, baked goods, and non-dairy creamers. These fats don't just raise bad cholesterol, they stiffen your arteries, making it easier for clots to form and harder for blood to reach your brain. 3. Artificial sweeteners, aspartame, sucralose. This one's controversial. While marketed as diabetic-friendly, some studies suggest artificial sweeteners may disrupt the gut-brain axis, promote insulin resistance, and even increase the risk of stroke and dementia. Seniors using diet products daily may unknowingly be putting their cognitive health on the line. 4. MSG, monosodium glutamate. MSG is a flavor enhancer often found in canned soups, frozen meals, and fast food. Some research suggests it may contribute to neurotoxicity in sensitive individuals, which could compound existing brain inflammation in older adults. 5. High fructose. Corn syrup. This sweetener causes spikes in blood sugar, contributes to obesity, and increases your risk for metabolic syndrome, a key contributor to stroke, especially in people over 60. Let's get real. No one wants to live in fear of every food label. So, what can you actually eat that's both delicious and brain protective? Here's the good news. A brain-friendly diet isn't boring. In fact, it might just be the best food you've ever had. Check out this lineup. Berries, packed with antioxidants that protect your neurons. Blueberries especially are like rocket fuel for memory. Leafy greens, spinach, kale, Swiss chard. One study showed that just one serving a day slows brain aging by 11 years. Fatty fish, salmon, sardines, mackerel, rich in omega-3s that support neuron membranes and reduce clotting risks. Whole grains, oats, quinoa, brown rice. Unlike refined grains, these keep blood sugar stable and reduce arterial stress. Olive oil, especially extra virgin. It's anti-inflammatory and one of the cornerstones of the Mind diet. Nuts, almonds, walnuts, pistachios. Just a handful a day improves brain connectivity and blood flow. Legumes. Beans and lentils are rich in plant protein, fiber, and essential minerals that support vascular health. And let's not forget water. So many seniors walk around mildly dehydrated, which thickens blood and makes strokes more likely. Drink more water. Now let's walk through a practical scenario. You're at the grocery store. You're staring at the freezer section. One meal says, heart healthy, only 240 calories, low fat. Sounds good, right? But then you flip the label over and see sodium, 970 milligrams. Ingredients: chicken flavoring, modified starch, monosodium glutamate, sodium phosphate, hydrolyzed soy protein. Yikes, that's not dinner. That's a chemistry set. Now contrast that with a simple meal: grilled salmon, steamed broccoli, brown rice with a drizzle of olive oil, fresh lemon and herbs. That's food your brain recognizes and thrives on. But what about snacks? Everyone needs a treat. Snack smart tips. Swap potato chips for air-popped popcorn with olive oil and turmeric. Craving sweets? Try frozen grapes or dark chocolate, 70% or higher cacao. Want something crunchy? Go for roasted chickpeas or raw nuts instead of pretzels. The point is, you don't have to give up flavor. You just need to be intentional. Let's bust a common myth. It's too late for me to change. I've eaten this way for decades. Wrong. Research shows that even seniors in their 70s or 80s who make small, consistent changes, like cutting back on processed meats or adding more greens, can experience significant improvements in cognitive performance and cardiovascular health in just a few months. One study even showed that older adults who adopted the Mind diet lowered their Alzheimer's risk by up to 53%, and the benefits were noticeable within just 6 months. So, what's the takeaway here? If you remember one thing from this video, let it be this: what you eat today affects your brain tomorrow. Food isn't just fuel, it's a message to your body. It tells your blood vessels whether to relax or constrict. It tells your neurons whether to fire clearly or get lost in fog. It tells your genes whether to activate healing or disease. And you have more control than you think. So the next time you reach for that low-fat frozen dinner, ask yourself, is this helping me stay sharp and stroke-free? Or is it part of the problem? Want to dive deeper? In upcoming videos, we're breaking down what a full 7-day brain-boosting meal plan looks like, how to reverse high blood pressure naturally, and shocking truths about healthy senior supplements. So if you found this eye-opening, don't just keep scrolling. Hit that like button, subscribe to Golden Age Tips, and turn on notifications so you never miss a health breakthrough that could change your life. Also, check the description for useful links, printable brain-friendly grocery lists, and our free download, Top 10 Foods That Secretly Harm Seniors. Because when it comes to your health, knowledge isn't just power, it's protection. Stay smart, stay vibrant, and we'll see you in the next one.